The bottom line is jobs are up, wages are up, people are back to work, and we're seeing some signs that inflation maybe, I'm not overpromising, may be beginning to ease.
That was President Biden earlier this month, hoping to ease concerns about high prices on fuel and food on the heels of a new report showing the country added some 315,000 jobs in August. And you know, that's true. Jobs are being added. But you've seen this. Groceries are still expensive. Rent is hard to come by for many Americans. The cost of living is very costly right now. People feel that. Workers feel that. MIT has this living wage calculator set up, tracking costs to determine how much money someone needs to support themselves or their family. Check this out. In Missouri, researchers say a single adult with no kids needs to make at least $16.29 an hour. That's more than $5 above the minimum wage at $11.15, though it does go up to $12 next year. The threshold is $16.38 in Kansas, far above the minimum wage, which has been set at $7.25 since 2008. And if you're wondering, yeah, that's the federal minimum wage, too. A Democratic push to change that died in committee in Topeka earlier this year. This is just one piece to a puzzle affecting countless workers in our area who say they need more. Stand up, Texas! Remember the Starbucks strike in March along Country Club Plaza? Several workers were there calling for better wages, benefits, and working conditions. Months later, Starbucks shut the place down. Now, the company claims it had nothing to do with union talks, pointing to crime in the area. The head of the nation's largest federation of labor unions says she understands the frustration being felt by workers across the country.
In this time where people are doing more with less, they're seeing their companies making billions of dollars. They just want a piece of that pie, and it's not too much to ask to be able to go to work safely, provide for your families, and have a secure future.
We saw a similar strike earlier this month in Kansas City. Workers at the Taco Bell at 82nd and Wernal walked off the job at lunchtime, saying they're frustrated by short staffing, poverty wages, they say, and a lack of benefits, among other things. Complaints being echoed by countless workers at countless companies across the country. So let's get to the heart of the matter with Terrence Wise, a Taco Bell worker who took part in the strike. Terrence, thanks so much for coming in and talking to us today. What made you say enough is enough here?
Well, you know, workers for the better part of the last decade have been fed up. And, you know, coming off a pandemic where we were called essential workers, but not treated as such, not paid as such, and not respected as such, you know, it's been enough not only for fast food workers, but for the working class as a whole. You know, we're fed up.
Right, and pandemic's still going on.
Definitely.
And you're still feeding people right now. As we've said just a minute ago, minimum wages are low in Missouri, very low in Kansas. And the argument that you often hear from opponents to raising wages, and I'm sure you've heard this before, is, well, fast food jobs are supposed to be starter jobs. They don't need the extra money or the benefits. What say you?
Well, you know, I've been a fast food worker for over the last 2 decades, you know. Fast food jobs are not just teenagers looking to buy a new Camaro, a new car. You know, it's adults. So we're here raising our families. I have 3 little girls that I support working in fast food, and my fiance who's a home health care worker. And you know, despite the fact that both of us work full-time, we still struggle with homelessness and keeping food on the table, despite working full-time here.
How has this pandemic been for you? I mean, as you said, dubbed essential, but with that many kids in this family, how has this been for you?
Definitely, not only for fast food workers, you know, going to work, but the working class as a whole. Folks have lost their lives going to work to do their job, whether it's bus drivers, fast food workers, airport workers, and for us to be called essential workers, even given a piece of paper, you know, to drive on the streets to get to work, but not being treated as such, you know.
And we know Taco Bell has spoken publicly. They put out a statement saying that the franchise owner and operator is looking into this and working to address any team member concerns. Have you heard anything from managers since the strike?
Absolutely not. And workers are waiting. You know, we've been treated with silence for far too long. We're willing to come to the table with our employers, Taco Bell, and we're waiting on that moment, you know.
You know, strikes are nothing new, right? But these voices from workers seem to be getting louder lately as we see more employees speaking out. Why do you think that is? And not just in your industry, but on the whole.
Well, you know, I hate to say it, but it started 10 years ago when fast food workers walked off the job in New York City. And even when we fast forward to today and we see Amazon workers, Starbucks workers, I even read recently an architectural firm and their employees coming together and organizing and demanding better. It's just been the working class awakening as a whole. You know, it's something exciting to see and be a part of.
Right, and we hear about, you know, the term quiet quitting or whatever, or someone, this misconception that someone might not be giving it their all. I mean, people want to work,
Definitely.
right? Tell me about that.
Yeah, folks want to go to work and pay their bills. I don't want the government to subsidize my family with food stamps or government assistance. I want to be able to go to work and be paid a living wage and take care of my family on my own, stand on my own 2 feet, you know?
What's the big thing that you want people to know about your situation and the challenges people in your industry are facing right now?
Well, I want folks to know that, I know some folks be like, well, why do fast food workers deserve 15, deserve a union? Well, as a working class, you know, an injury to one is an injury to all. I make $16 an hour as a Taco Bell worker, yet I know folks who work in hospitals and at pharmacies who don't quite make that much, you know. And even going into the auto plants around locally, it's fast food workers lifting their wages has lifted the community as a whole. We've seen wages rise all across the board. So the working class has been going up, or we go down together, and it's time for us all to start going up.
All right, so you're seeing some progress, but in your words, not enough.
Definitely not enough. We got a long fight ahead.
All right, Terrence Wise, thanks so much for taking the time to share your stories today. We appreciate it.